Okay, good. And next question, Mr. Kamach, as you know, security and peace is a very important need in order to provide welfare, prosperity, security, and protection for the general public. In this sense, how do you evaluate the general circumstances in the African continent?
Again, tell me how we can prosper without peace, without security,
yes,
without protection.
Thank you.
For sure, our continent is a young continent. In the whole global, international, and economic process, more than 30% of the population, as I told you, 50% is aged between 15 to 24. And 50% of them don't have any work. So this youth can be an incredible opportunity to accomplish development of Africa, but can be also a danger to, like as I told you, social bumps. So our governments have to take care about this population and organize them in a productive process. I think in the years coming, Africa will achieve this question of instability because we understood that the peace is the security and the development of our nation. Liberty, understanding, intelligence are really the safeties, I think, of all the nation in the world.
Yes. Jerry, your comment on that?
I think that is a very profound statement because education is definitely the root of any advancement anywhere around the world right now. The advancements that we are seeing in all areas and the ones we could see due to education everywhere are extraordinary in the last 10 years. I think there's a really close tie that hearing that Africa and the U.S. actually have, because we have a very big group in that same age group right now, in that same age range, and we have about the same problem. And what we do have, some of these people in those age ranges that are employed are what's called underemployed here in the States, because some of the jobs they have are not enough to support them. They can work 50 or 60 hours a week and still not make enough at these jobs to be able to support themselves. So with education and and I'm going to go ahead and bring in the things like the Turkish Islamic Union, even with the U.S., when you give people the opportunity and the chance to be able to operate globally in different countries without so many barriers, and you can get the education to the point where peace and security come into play with that education, because the more educated people are, the more apt you're going to have peace and security, and people are going to be able to get along. The morality will rise with that, religiously, economically, personally. It'll go to a higher level. And what we have, I think, around the world in a lot of places right now is the inability for people to travel freely for employment purposes even. I know to go from America to Africa, or from Africa to America, or from America to European, or even south of the U.S. or north of the U.S., just in Canada, with our country, I know, to travel that way to find work is, if you're already out of work and you don't have the money to do it, it's almost impossible because of the visa charges, the travel charges, the border stipulations that we have around the world. And with things like the Turkish Islamic Union, which would do away with those borders, the borders, not physically do away with them, but there's so much red tape that goes into being able to interact with each other and do, economies with each other. Something like that would be a benefit to the entire world, because you'd be opening up economic situations, personal situations, social situations, education, so many things. And like Akhtar had said a while ago, the European Union is a union basically of government and of money, is what it's been. Or you can form a union on standard ground through personal relationships with each other in countries, and not so much rely on governments to do it, because usually what you fall into when a government is handling something like this is a monetary issue. That's how they look at it, the economical impact. And a lot of governments will say, well, we're looking at this as a peace impact too. Well, the only thing is a lot of countries, and I go back to mine, and I don't mean to make my own country look in a bad light here, but the security thing of it is our country, I know, will say, well, we're looking at the peace aspect of it too, our peace. But the thing of it is when you get it, something like the Turkish Islamic Union formed, and you guys are neighbors over there. When you open up borders like this, and you open up the route for free trade and free communications, and cross education, and you have people that can travel without worrying so much about their peace and security, and you take a lot of the individual greed out of it, you end up with a society that can flourish. And this will impact around the world. Anything that happens overseas, it affects the U.S. Things that happen in the U.S., a lot of people, I don't think, realize the impact that each country has around the world, because what we're seeing lately in the last 5 or 6 years specifically, I think, is a global movement towards, and I'm not going to say a world government because I don't believe in world government, but we're moving towards more of a world of one people. Where we're all humans first, and we're all working to get along. And I think when that happens, we will see a lot of economic advancement in all countries.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I mean, Jerry, you're right. I mean, this model will be helpful for everybody. For example, imagine for example, the people of the there's something was ringing. Maybe it's a technical. Okay.
Ivan's phone.
Yeah, something is ringing.
O şeyin üstünde olabilir bak.
We'll find out. We can stop for 30 seconds. It's not from us. Anyway, so well, for example, Central African Republic. Why should be squeezed in the Central African Republic? If there would be a model of this called, for example, Turkish Islamic Union, but it will embrace the Christians and Jews also. It will embrace Israel, Armenia, all the countries of Africa. We don't want anybody suffering in Africa. There are people dying of starvation in Somalia, for example. There is injustice everywhere, and there is problems, internal conflicts. This union will prevent all these arbitrary behaviors, and as Jerry said, and it will increase the market. For example, in such a union, you can come to Istanbul, you can come to anywhere you would like to engage into business, arts, and science. And this will bring peace, this will bring wealth, this will bring democracy and freedom of thought and worship, all the people in this region. So this will solve all the problems, solution. But it's not like a European Union, a much better union, with a spiritual union, with good morality. Everybody will be first-class citizen. No racism, no problems, conflicts between different religions or different sects or different groups.